Yo, what is up YouTube? It's your boy 3D Sneaky, and today we're going to be breaking some minis. If you see my last video, then you're well aware that I just got the new Elegoo Mars 3 Pro, and I'm super excited to get started on some armies that I'm going to be working on for Warhammer proxies. If you're interested in that type of project, please be sure to subscribe. But with me getting back into 3D printing, there's one major problem I'm running into. I'm out of resin. The last time I bought resin, the brand I went with was Elegoo water washable back in 2000 when I had the Mars Pro. A lot of things have changed since then, so I'm trying to figure out what's the next best thing. After using nothing but water washable for the ease of not having to use alcohol, the main problem I ran into with miniatures was that they were super brittle. That might have been from a lack of experience. I might have been doing a lot of overexposing, as I found out with enough trial and error. But I've learned a lot since then through YouTube and a lot of Reddit reading and Facebook groups. So I'm looking forward to getting back into starting this project of building an army. And I need to figure out what's the best resin out now. It's 2 years later. A lot of things have changed. We have a whole new slew of resins out there. And today we're going to be figuring out what the best budget resin is available on the market today. So I went ahead and ordered 4 of the most common resin types out there that are commercially available at a good price. We have your standard resin, ABS-like, water washable, and then the newest one out, I believe, eco-friendly. I went ahead and printed out miniatures in each type, 3 in total from each resin, and today we're going to be putting them through a major stress test in something I like to call the forge. Some of the key things that we'll be going over in today's video are resin types and costs, details, smell, durability, flexibility, and then my final thoughts on what I think is the best for me, specifically for miniatures. First off, let's take a look at the 4 resins that we'll be going over today. They were all chosen based off the availability and price, trying to keep a low budget point. Also, all of them are chosen in gray because some people use lighter resin, some people use darker resin. I find that gray is a nice balanced choice. The first resin that we're going to be taking a look at today is the Anycubic standard resin. It's a great all-around option, and you'll probably most commonly find bargains going on Amazon and different sites because it's just so common. The next up we'll be looking at is Elegoo ABS-like. Definitely known for being a lot less brittle and less prone to shattering, a lot tougher material. Some say you do get a lack of detail though, but things change, so we'll see. Next on the list we have Anycubic Eco. It's a plant extract natural option. I believe it's made from soybean oil or some crap, and it's BPA free. And last on the list we have Elegoo water washable. It's known for being more brittle throughout the community, and the good thing is no alcohol is needed for cleaning. So it does cost the most out of these 3 for 1 kilogram of any of these bottles. The standard, Elegoo ABS-like, and Anycubic Eco I was able to find for $25. The Elegoo water washable, the cheapest I can find, was $33. But on the flip side, you're not paying for alcohol, which can fluctuate in price. But now that we're done with all the information, let's begin the test. The first thing we're going to look at before we destroy these poor miniatures is the quality. And for all these tests, I'll be starting from what I believe is last all the way to first. This is my opinion though, so if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. In last place for details, I try to ignore the chalkiness and try to wash it as best you can. I do use a little alcohol when I do use water washable still, just don't need to use as much. Water washable though, quality wise, 4th place. And 3rd we had Eco. Second we had ABS-like. And then in first we had standard. The standard, ABS like, and eco were all super close in detail. I even asked my wife. We definitely agreed that water was fourth, but between those last three, first, second, and third place, it was a really tight race. Some were a little sharper, some were a little smoother, and one was right in between, which I thought was standard. So had a nice blend of both and no loss of quality. Another key thing to take in consideration with these tests and results from the test are that I didn't fine tune these. I just used the base manufacturer recommended settings and went from there. And one more test before we head out to the forge is the smell test. Now, there's no way I can really tell you or show you to where you would understand until we get, that 4D technology. So you just have to take it from me. I also asked my wife's opinion. So these are accounted for, but I was actively around it while printing. She just kind of smelled it from the bottle. I do not recommend it. Don't do it. If you do, be safe and take all the necessary precautions. But she has a super highly sensitive nose. The overall results I got though were in fourth place. Definitely had the strongest smell out of all four of them. The other three were pretty close, but this one I was able to smell it through the door. I got vent pumping it out, was ABS like. In third place was water washable. Second was standard, and then first place for smell, as in the least smelliest. I don't know the right word. But anyway, eco. If you have a sensitive nose, go with eco. Standard and water were also very close. But let's get to the part that you're probably here for, the forge. We're gonna take these minis out, bang them up, break them up, bust them up, all that good stuff. The first test that we ran on these miniatures, again, we printed out 3 different types of models and 4 different types of resins to keep it consistent across the board. And we did a drop test where we dropped the miniatures from 1 foot, 3 foot, and 5 foot. All the results will be posted at the end of this little video montage of the test going on. But in last place, as in it's the weakest in terms of dropping, the most common incident amongst miniatures, I'd say, was, no surprise, water washable. It broke at the 3 foot drop. Tied for second place was standard and eco. They both broke at the 5 foot drop. And then in first place, ABS like, with no breaks at all at all 3 heights. I stopped at 5 feet because it's not too common that you're dropping it from 7 feet. If you are, sorry about it. The next test that we did, I don't know how much of a test it was, unfortunately, but was the smash test. I was going to use a brick originally, but it wouldn't fit into the forge slot. It was too big. And so we got a 3-pound metal pipe with a T connector on it, and I dropped it straight down onto these miniatures. And let me tell you, it was ugly. There was bits everywhere. It was bad, but they all broke pretty heavily at the 1 foot mark. And then at the 3 foot mark, they were just completely finished. The test didn't need to carry on anymore. But we did do a part 2 with the gator models that survived from the drop test. And I picked the brick up, dropped it from 5 feet, and based off of those 2 combined results, overall in last place, again, no surprise, water washable was the most brittle for sure. In third place, we had the eco-friendly, so that natural option did not survive as well. A close second place was the standard type. It's pretty close to the first place ABS, but ABS ultimately was definitely the strongest out of all 3 or 4 options. So if you're looking for toughness, definitely recommend ABS like so far. Now for the last bit of our test, we did a flexibility test to see how flexible these resins were, and the results kind of surprised me. Unfortunately, we had to bring this in due to a storm rolling up on us, so it's gonna be a change of scenery. But for this test, I took a fish hook, ghetto rigged it with some fish line, put another fish hook on a COVID mask because my first idea wasn't working out, and we dropped weights into them, 1/2 ounce Fisher weights, or sinker weights, and then some batteries because the weights weren't enough to actually break any of these models. So in last place, only able to withstand 13.48 ounces, was the eco-friendly. Surprisingly, I thought the water would go. In third place was another big surprise, standard resin, only able to hold about 16.72 ounces. And in second place was water washable. As Bruce Lee said, it must flow like water, something like that. Either way, got second place, 18.34 ounces, and still no surprise here. The undisputed first place ABS, holding 19.96 ounces. I didn't have any more batteries, and it took the weight to a full 90 degree, and it took a little effort to actually snap it. I started jiggling it, pulling on it, and it finally snapped. So definitely tough. So to sum it all up, my final thoughts with this testing, it wasn't super scientific. You know, I tried to replicate the conditions best I can, and I'll come up with some better ideas down the road. I'd say my happy medium choice, and what I probably will go through with, is going to be between ABS, like, even though the smell was super strong, definitely a reliable choice. I may go with the standard because, like I said, lots of deals going on with that. The smell's not as bad, and it's very close in most of these tests to the ABS light. So it's between those two. I'm definitely ready to switch up from the water washable. But now that we have the resin picked out between standard and ABS, I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger here soon. And my next video will be, again, that 2,000 point Warhammer proxy army with a full price breakdown, telling you why you should get a resin printer, especially now. I'm sorry, Games Workshop, you'll probably never see this anyway. I do want to thank everybody who checked out the last video. Been gaming and streaming the last 3 years, and I posted just a few clips to YouTube, oversaturated market with Warzone clips. But all those clips combined, I had less than 100. We broke 1,000 views within 2 weeks. So I'm super excited to do something I'm actually passionate about. I truly love. I have a 3D printer running in the background right now, making some paint holders for me. I love the hobby. I love the craft. Love D&D. Really want to get into Warhammer. So looking forward to making more content for you all. Thank you for hanging out to the end of the video. If you made it this far, if you enjoyed the content, you know a like helps big time. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more in the future. But either way, thank you for all the love, y'all. I'll catch y'all next time. Stay frosty, baby.